talking about Kojima, baby. So now, these are just rumors right now, but it's coming from big guys like Jeff Grubb and Tom Warren. So I'm not gonna say it's credible, but at least it's not some wackos on YouTube, or these other disreputable places. So basically, the rumor is that Kojima is in talks with Microsoft, possibly release a game exclusively on Xbox. Sounds crazy, but we're actually going to explain to you why it's actually not as far-fetched as it sounds. And Manny, I'll hand this over to you because you came up with a good theory as to how this could actually happen or why it would happen.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, out of all the Japanese, creators, he is probably the most Western acceptable. That means that essentially he does better here in the United States than he does in actual Japan. So I could see that, that fitting in the Xbox universe, where it's like, okay, he's a very well game director. He's, his games do very well in the Western world. So I think one of the reasons why, the other thing I also think about this is, if you notice, there's a lot of people that are missing from PlayStation. A lot of those people were the people that managed to get him in the door. What was it? Who was the president of Sony Japan before? Before
Yoshida?
No, Yoshida was the white guy, British dude.
Oh,
House?
the German guy.
Andrew House. Yeah, Andrew House was the guy one of the guys that got him in there. Same thing. Where's Mark Cerny? Don't know where he is. There's a lot of people that are out of the picture right now. So the people that are, even Shuei Yoshida is in the independent department. So if he were to come over to Sony now, they probably wouldn't even hear him. Also, let's not fail to mention that Death Stranding, while it did very well, it didn't do amazing.
It didn't do the numbers they wanted,
and it didn't do the numbers they wanted. So my guess is that if this does happen, which there is a decent possibility, Kojima has that media presence, and if he's talking over to Xbox, or Microsoft to do something with them, it would definitely be a pump to their to their system, to whatever, to Game Pass or whatever. If he decides to go that direction, even if he decides, okay, I'm making a new game, but I want to do it console exclusive for X amount of time. Even that works out for him, especially since he's got an independent studio.
So Kojima loves like American movies and movie stars and kind of a lot of
he's an Ameribu.
Yeah, kind of.
Yes,
or
a Westernaboo.
Yeah, it seems like Microsoft would be better able to service that, even if it's just, hey, I can get you a dinner with blank so and so. Like, he seems honestly like a fairly easy person to schmooze, and I would imagine that Microsoft can at least deliver some more of that, even if they again they use their
biggest exclusive.
Their biggest weapon. Yeah. Even if they just use money, they're like, fuck it, get Kojima a dinner with Tom Cruise, and then he's on board. I don't fucking care how you do it, just do it. Somebody in the company knows something who knows somebody. They can make that shit happen. So I wonder if they've been kind of courting him. Because it's not about money. The dude has money. It's clear that's not what motivates him.
Yeah. Smooshing with stars is,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And yeah, like Manny said, like he is bigger here than he is in Japan. I know people think that's weird. It's like, oh, he's Japanese, I'd be bigger in Japan. No. He's big here, for obvious reasons. He's a very Western centric game, like guy. And like you just said, okay, here's the thing about Kojima. He likes to work with the same people. If he knows you, he trusts you, he will keep working with you. All the people that he knew at Sony are gone, basically. What incentive does he have to stick around, right? But the partnerships, because he's had partnership with Microsoft before, he's talked with those guys. Those guys are still there, same dudes, right? So I think it's an easy win, and I think it'll be good. I don't know if it'll move. It won't move the needle in Japan because some people are speculating that it won't. It's a Western thing, but it'll be pretty big regardless. I do want to bring up something Jose brought up in the comments. He said that he doesn't think Kojima will give up the Decima engine. Isn't Decima engine kind of open for everybody now, or am I wrong about that?
It's a PC. It's an engine that works on PC. So theoretically, anybody can use it.
Yeah. So it's not owned by Sony. You know, it's
I mean, it is owned by Sony, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean somebody can't. Yeah, because that company is owned by
Guerrilla-
Sony.
Guerrilla
Games is Sony. It's a Sony company.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that
Possibly.
doesn't mean that he couldn't be licensing the engine from them.
Yeah, so there you go. It's possible. Again, this is a rumor. Take it how you will,
Yeah.
but I can see it happening. Or at least I'm going to say it's believable. I'm not going to say I see it happen. I'm going to say it's believable. I'm going to say that.
Yeah. So I mean, if anything, yeah, if it does happen, there is quite a bit of things that can make it happen. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And we shall see. You know. All right.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. I do want to do games we've been playing, but let's do this shit now, man.
Oh shit!
Oh, real quick
It's
before that, real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Phantom Vash on Twitter. He's like, hey, maybe Kojima will do a horror game because he's been wanting to do a horror game.
Could be.
And then I said, and
he can make the medium too.
And then I responded, I'm like, how about a horror game in space?
Oh,
Oh,
don't get me started on that,
what,
man.
you mean like the new Terminator?
Oh man.
So officially, well, it's funny that you say that comes out again, because that is one of the things that people have been quite a bit of people connected to Kojima said that he wants to do a new horror game. That goes to Junji Ito, who did a bunch of design work for Silent Hills, and that's also, I think Shinkawa said something about it too. So there's something to a new horror game. So
Well,
who
dude,
knows?
think about it. If you had the Silent Hill thing, like if you were in Kojima's shoes and you had that opportunity taken away from you, at least me as a creative type person would bother the fuck out of me. It would be the mountain left unclimbed. It'd be that thing that I kind of almost did but never actually fucking did.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable that you're going to circle back to it. You can't retire without finishing that thing. It's just going to plague you forever.
Well, think about it like
Well,
this, right? Like Kojima
what
was
if he
about
just
to
has
he was about to do a game of Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro. He go ahead and did it. So it's possible, Go ahead, Adam.
What
What
if,
you say?
what if he just has a bunch of ideas, just like writers and other producers say, hey, listen, I got these 5 ideas. Who's interested? And let's say Sony and others pass on certain ones, and then Phil was like, I'll take number 3. And like, sold. Let's do it. It could be something like that,
So a lot of I suspect a lot of things from Silent Hill that were going to be in Silent Hills made their way into Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about dimensions and all kinds of other funky stuff like that. I think a lot of that did manage to make its way into Death Stranding, but that doesn't mean that more of that can be continued over into whatever funky horror game he decides to do in the future. But yeah, I mean, like any artist, you probably have like 10 or 20 different ideas that are not fully fleshed out inside of your folders. We're just waiting to be, unleashed on the world, right?
Yeah, he's definitely got ideas cooking. So, don't
And
count him out.
also he did say that his last game did get what was it? It wasn't approved.
Interesting.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, like he said whatever game that he had, like something he was something he said he disappointed that it didn't get taken. So he did just have an idea rejected. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean it's like Microsoft is just sweeping in and throwing money at everything. It's like, what makes sense?
Exclusive.
Hey, again, I've always said biggest exclusive is money.